My name is Ariana Cole, 22 years old, the second daughter of the Cole family, an American household that claims to be traditional but operates more like a monarchy ruled by a single person. My brother Daniel, age 30, is married to a woman who disliked me from the moment we met. Megan, the self-appointed queen of the Cole family. A woman who believes that because she married my brother, she owns the house, the rules, and even the air we breathe. I used to avoid both of them until the day they decided my silence was disrespect, and my brother did something unforgivable. 1. The morning everything changed. It was a Saturday morning, early enough that the sunlight hadn't fully stretched across the kitchen yet. I walked in wearing an oversized hoodie, hair tied in a messy bun, ready to grab cereal and disappear into my room again. Megan was already there, standing in front of the fridge, arms crossed, wearing the expression of someone smelling something rotten. "Morning," I said while grabbing a bowl. She didn't reply. She just stared. I ignored it. I had learned ignoring her was the safest option. But today, she wanted a fight. "You know," she said, tapping her nails on the fridge door, "a decent person would say good morning properly." I exhaled slowly. I did say morning. "No," she snapped, stepping closer. "You murmured something that wasn't respect." "There's a difference," I muttered, and that was it. Her eyes widened, her face reddened, and she screamed, "Daniel!" I closed my eyes. Of course. 2. He storms in. My brother appeared seconds later, his heavy footsteps echoing through the kitchen. Daniel was tall, built like he lived in the gym, and he used his size like a weapon, especially against me. "What the hell happened?" he demanded. Megan pointed at me like a kindergarten teacher reporting a misbehaving child. "She disrespected me again. Ariana refuses to greet me like an adult. She's rude every morning." I laughed because it was absurd. I literally said, "morning." Daniel's expression twisted. "Is that the attitude you think is acceptable?" Here we go again. "Daniel," I said calmly, "I didn't do anything." But Megan began fake crying, forced sniffles, trembling for effect. Daniel, as always, believed every word. "She's so ungrateful," Megan whimpered. "I'm trying to be good to her and she treats me like nothing." I finally snapped. "Good to me?" I scoffed. "You insult me every chance you get." Daniel exploded. 3. The threat. "You'll apologize to my wife right now," he shouted, "and if you don't," he stepped forward, "you'll be grounded." Grounded like I was 12? I stared at him, speechless. "I'm 22. "I don't care," he yelled. "As long as you live in this house, you follow my rules. You'll be grounded until you apologize." My hands trembled, not from fear, but from the humiliation. Punished like a child for something I didn't do. "For how long?" I asked. He snapped, "Until Megan forgives you, and she won't until you show real remorse." Megan smirked behind him, a small, cruel, victorious smile, and something inside me cracked. Daniel waited. "Well," he demanded, "apologize." I lifted my chin. "No." 4. The explosion. His face reddened. "What did you say?" "I said no, Daniel." My voice was steady, despite my racing heart. "I won't apologize for something I didn't do. You don't get to control me like I'm your servant." He stepped closer, trying to tower over me. "You live here for free. We feed you. We help you. Mom and Dad help me," I snapped. "You do nothing for me, Daniel." Megan gasped dramatically. "Wow, she's attacking you now." Daniel slammed his hand against the counter so hard, I flinched. "I will apologize to my wife," he roared, "or you will stay in your room with no phone, no car, no freedom." And then the worst part. "Until you learn your place." My place. That's when something inside me shifted. Something cold and sharp, whispering, "This ends today." 5. The quiet before the storm. "I'll go to my room," I said softly. Daniel smirked. Megan folded her arms like a triumphant villain. "Good," Daniel said. "Think about what you did." I walked upstairs, closed my door, sat on my bed, and didn't cry. Not this time. My heart didn't break. My fear didn't shake me. Instead, calm washed over me, the kind people feel right before they change everything. I looked around the room that had been both my prison and my sanctuary. Then, I opened my laptop. Because Daniel thought he had power over me. But I held something stronger.
The Truth and a Plan. 6. The secret I never told anyone. Before everything collapsed last year, I had been accepted into a digital business mentorship program. I never told my family because they would have called it a waste of time. But I had been learning quietly, practicing quietly, building quietly. And over the past 6 months, I had started earning real money. Online work, contracts, commissions, money Daniel didn't know existed. Money I saved. Money that meant freedom. I opened my banking app. My savings glowed back at me. Enough to move, enough to start over. And suddenly, being grounded didn't matter anymore because I had no intention of staying. Not in this house. Not under Daniel's rules. Not with Megan's voice poisoning every corner. I wasn't planning to apologize. I was planning to leave. 7. But before leaving, I had one thing to do first. I wasn't the kind of person who simply walked away. No. They pushed me into war. And if they wanted domination games, humiliation games, control games, then they were about to learn something. I don't lose. I leaned back in my chair, cracked my knuckles, and opened a new document. The plan formed in my mind like a dark, flawless storm. A revenge they would never recover from. A strike so clean they'd never see it coming. Because revenge isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, strategic, calculated. And Daniel? He had one weakness. One secret. One thing Megan didn't know. One thing that could destroy everything they built. And I had proof. I stared at the folder on my desktop, labeled Decole Records. I smiled. Today they grounded me. Tomorrow I would ground their entire world. The folder glowed like a lit fuse. Decole Records. Inside were things Daniel thought no one would ever find. Things he believed were buried. Things Megan definitely didn't know. Because when you grow up with a controlling brother, you learn to watch carefully, quietly, secretly. And sometimes you find things you're not meant to. 1. The secret files. I opened the folder. Invoices, emails, screenshots, all tied to the same truth. Daniel had been taking money, thousands, from our parents' business account for more than a year, using it to fund his private gym membership, his new truck, Megan's designer handbags, hotel weekends he claimed were business trips. He always said Dad approved. He lied. I knew because Dad once asked me, "Ariana, have you noticed anything strange with the company balance?" That's when I started digging. Daniel never bothered protecting his passwords from me. He didn't believe I was capable of anything. He always labeled me the soft one, the quiet one, the emotional one. His mistake. I clicked a file labeled Hotel December, a receipt for a 2-night stay. But the guest wasn't Megan. It was a woman named Victoria. So Daniel wasn't just financially abusing our family, he was cheating on his perfect princess wife. And suddenly, his threat, "You'll apologize to my wife," became dark comedy. Because I wasn't planning to apologize. I was planning to expose everything. 2. The calm before the final blow. I spent the night packing quietly. Not the whole room, only essentials. Clothes, laptop, hard drive, documents, and printed copies of the evidence, sealed carefully. By sunrise, I was ready. I didn't sleep, yet I felt more awake than ever. Around 7 a.m., I heard footsteps storm toward my door. Daniel. He didn't knock. He barged in. "You're still grounded," he announced, "and no phone today." He snatched my phone off the nightstand. I didn't fight him. Let him think he won. Victory tastes sweetest when your enemy thinks you've already been defeated. "You'll apologize to Megan by tonight, or this grounding continues." I looked up at him calmly. "Sure," I said. "Tonight." He smirked, smug enough to choke, and walked out. He thought he broke me, but he had awakened something dangerous. 3. Noon. The confrontation. I waited until they were both in the living room. Daniel watching TV, Megan scrolling her phone like the queen of TikTok. I walked downstairs slowly. Daniel looked irritated. "What do you want?" "I'm here to apologize," I said softly. Megan smirked, smug enough to choke, and leaned on Daniel like he was her throne. Daniel crossed his arms. "Good. Go on." I stepped closer, then placed a sealed envelope on the coffee table. "What's this?" he asked. "Something you both should see before I apologize." Daniel snatched it and tore it open. The first page, the hotel receipt with Victoria's name. Megan's face twitched. Daniel froze. "Where did you get this?" he whispered. "Oh," I said, casually. "There's more." I sat on the opposite couch like I owned the room. "Check the rest." He flipped through screenshots of messages with Victoria, bank transfers from the family account, invoices he claimed were business expenses,
Photos of him and Victoria together. Megan's chest rose and fell rapidly. First confusion, then realization, then rage. "You liar," she hissed. Daniel looked at me, panic rising. "Ariana, listen." "No," I cut him off. "You listen." I leaned forward, voice sharp and steady. "You tried to ground me, control me, humiliate me, all while stealing from our parents and cheating on your wife." Megan sprang to her feet so fast the cushion flew off the couch. "Daniel, what is this?" "It's not what it looks like," he stammered. "It looks like you're a lying broke—" Daniel's voice shook. "Ariana, please, please." I raised an eyebrow. "Where was that word when you threatened me? When you told me to learn my place? When you said I'd be grounded until I bowed down to Megan?" Megan grabbed the papers as if collecting weapons. She looked at me for the first time. No smirk. "Ariana," she said slowly, "I owe you an apology." I didn't respond. She wasn't my target. Daniel was. Megan turned on him like a storm. "You think you can cheat on me? After all I gave up for you, you used me." Daniel tried to grab her hand. She pulled back. "Don't touch me," she snapped. "You disgust me." Then she turned to me. "Where's the original file?" "In a safe place," I said coldly, "with backups." She nodded, then shockingly smiled at me. Not a cruel smile, a real one. "I support whatever you're about to do." Daniel stared at her, horrified. Megan walked toward the door. "I'm leaving and I'm taking everything you bought me with stolen money because technically it belongs to your parents." She slammed the door. Daniel sank onto the couch. "What? What are you doing?" he whispered. "Ending this," I said softly. 4. The final move. I walked past him into the kitchen, grabbed my backpack, my planned escape. "Ariana," he begged, "where are you going?" "Out." "For how long?" "Forever." He stood so fast the table shook. "You can't leave." I turned around. "You don't own me, Daniel. And after today, you don't own much of anything." He was shaking, not with anger, but with fear. "What are you planning to do?" I held up the USB drive with the evidence. "Nothing, if you let me leave peacefully." He froze. "If you try to stop me, if you threaten me, if you try to punish me," I stepped closer, inches from his face. "I will send this to Mom, Dad, the company board, and Megan's lawyer." He breathed hard, chest collapsing. You wouldn't. I would. I zipped my backpack. And I will. Please, he whispered, tears forming. I paused. The boy who once protected me when we were young, now drowned under the weight of his own choices. Daniel, I said quietly, I didn't destroy your life. You did. Then I walked out. He didn't chase me. 5. A new beginning. I got into an Uber with my backpack, my laptop, and my freedom. The sun felt different outside, lighter, warmer, brighter. I checked into a small apartment I had secretly booked the night before. The first thing I did, I bought a new phone and logged into my accounts. The second, I emailed the evidence to myself, labeled for emergency use only. The third, I sat on the bed and took the deepest breath of my life. For the first time in years, I felt safe, free, powerful. 3 weeks later, my parents learned everything. Megan told them herself, furious and heartbroken. They called me, asking why I hadn't told them sooner. I explained everything calmly. They didn't blame me. They blamed Daniel. He lost his position in the company, access to the business accounts, and Megan filed for divorce. His image as the responsible son was shattered. But I didn't send the evidence beyond the family. I didn't need to. Daniel apologized, a real apology, not forced. He told me I was right to leave, that I deserved better, that he never realized how cruel he had become. I accepted the apology, but I didn't return. I built my own life, my business, my space, my peace. And the girl he tried to silence became the woman he could never control again.